promises to be an excellent show because I'm joined today by Erin Strayer. Hello, Erin. Nice to meet live on video.
I know, it's so exciting. It's exciting. I love it. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, and thank you for actually using the Live Video Hub extensively. And we're here today to actually look at the way you're actually using live video, because we both enjoy this so much, don't we?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love it. I love everything about it. And I love the hub, and the interaction and the connections and the transferring of people and the new relationships that have formed just in 3 weeks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
oh my
that's
God.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's just such a short space of time. And it's come from an idea to something which is working, well, better than we could have expected. Right. Okay. Now, we're here to talk about your show. And it's the Erin Strayer Show. And but before we get to that, first question, because I actually suggest 3 questions to actually sort of get us on the way, and we can then talk for England and America after that about anything that comes into our heads or any questions that people ask. And we say good morning to Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
So I don't know where this is going to go, but let's make a start.
It's fun. That's why it's so cool.
Right. Okay. Now, you haven't always been an online business strategist. So what did you do before you got involved in this?
Yeah, so I actually retired from my medical career 4 years ago. May 10th noted my 4th year of being retired from level 1 trauma cardiac surgery. And yeah, so it's like we were talking off screen. You're like, man, you took a left turn. And I'm like, well, kinda. I'm actually not a surgeon, so don't think I'm a surgeon. I was like their special ops SEAL team sergeant. Right along with them. So a lot of the things that I did in the procedure, I was right in the operating room with the surgeons, and I did a lot of pre-op and post-op and follow through the procedure. A lot of technical things, a lot of training on teams inside the operating room itself, to get them up to speed on technology, equipment, procedures, proper practices inside of there, how to interact with each other, those kind of things. So I was a trainer in that aspect also. I've been all across the United States. I've trained highly specialized teams from ground zero. 4 years ago, I decided to step away and kind of venture out. I didn't quite know what that looked like 4 years ago, but here I am, and I'm loving every bit of it.
Yeah. I mean, we were speaking earlier, it's 2 totally different worlds, because the world you've just described is one which is on the go from the moment you actually step out the door to the moment you get home, where you don't know what's going to hit you during the day.
Correct.
And you've got to keep in control, not only of yourself, but of the people around you.
Yes, all the time. Like, you're on key, you split-second decisions. It's life or death in what I was doing, and so there was zero room for mistakes there. It was you had to be sure of your decision, you had to be sure of your team, you had to be sure of your patient and the family members. I mean, everything around it, was involved. So it was very high stress, very aggressive behaviors all the time. As far as being sure of your decisions all the time. Yeah. Quite different. I mean, I'm very sure of my decisions now, but I'm in a totally different mindset and a totally different environment, and set back a little bit and kind of settling in.
Wow. Right. Now, the question 2, because you talked about training a moment ago, but now you call yourself a trainer of trainers.
Yeah.
Now, basically, can you tell us about your world now, as it is now? Because it still sounds as hectic, but in a different, more controlled way.
Yeah. So, a lot of people out there use the word coach, and I feel that in my world, that's an overused word. And in my mind, a coach is directly associated to athletics, which one team wins and one team loses. So in my world, I train trainers and we all win. So we are all at an equal playing field. All of us are brilliant in our own lanes, and like everybody wins. So I like to call myself a trainer of trainers, and I know that my clients are phenomenal and brilliant, and they just need a little guidance that I'm able to provide for them. So that's kind of where I go with my training, and I've honestly been training my entire life. So it's just shifting the focus and shifting the gear set and the mindset.
Right. How do you actually find people who need training?
How do I find them?
How do they find you? How do they find you?
Yeah. You mean like, how do they find me? Like websites and LinkedIn and those kind of things. So my website's erinstrayer.com, super hard. I'm Erin Strayer everywhere. So if it's LinkedIn, if it's my website, if it's Facebook, if it's Pinterest and Instagram and Twitter and all the rest of those social media links, that's where they find me. But a lot of my people, honestly, are organic. It's very, very organic how the people come to me. Lots of word of mouth, lots of, hey, I worked with Erin and it was brilliant. And I got so much transformation and so much, clarity on my direction when I worked with Erin. Everyone needs training. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Even me, and that's something that I'm constantly bettering myself and putting myself in other training and furthering my education in and around other aspects of business, of dealing with people, of up in my mental game and my emotional game, so that I can interact better with my people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were saying when we're talking. It is all about people, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people resonate with people. You as a trainer, you actually got to create a relationship first before you can provide the training.
150%. That's right. So people follow me, right? People follow you too, Stephen, and they hang out in your space and they watch your lives and they like what you're doing. They like how you interact with people. And next thing you know, whatever you might have commented on a comment of theirs triggers them to reach out. Erin, I think it's time. I think I need you in my world. What's it look like to work with you? Where do we start? Right? Yeah. So most people, go. I'm sorry.
No, carry on. My apologies. So what's it like to work with you?
It's a transformation.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. And if it's not, then it's the wrong connection, right? And then we get to have that conversation. But for most people that work with me are recovering corporate female entrepreneurs. So these women are 35 to 65 years old, the majority of them. I have a couple men hanging out in my world too, but the majority of them are recovering corporates. So they've done the corporate world, they've been in there, it's not lining up for them anymore. Their heart desires something else. They don't know how to start, or they got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and they're like, what's next?
Yep, a halfway house. Yeah.
Yep, halfway house. Yeah, they're sitting on the fence. So so a lot of that is propelling the cellular desire into something that can catapult them into making money. So, or finding them where they're at and taking them to that next level, because they're stuck, right? Like, great, I've maxed out. I don't know how to grow.
So it's about helping them to create a focus on their goals and where they want to go.
Yeah, in taking their vision of what they want in life, what really makes them happy, right? Like sitting in a cubicle isn't happy for them. For me, my medical world and the continuous stress and living with a beeper and being on call all the time and getting up in the middle of the night and dealing with patients that aren't doing well, and you know what I mean? Like all of that was so stressful. And then when I have a family, it's like, oh my gosh, that complicates it even more. And you know what I mean? Like it was time for me to make a shift because it was making me sick. Right? Yeah.
I can see exactly where you're coming from. I think that affects many people when you actually decide that what you were gloriously happy doing, over the years has changed, and now you need to have something new, something you do enjoy. And we're very lucky these days, aren't we? We can go out and chase our dreams. I mean, it's never been a better time. But there's something that holds people back, isn't there? The blockages that hold people back. And so how can you encourage or even teach self-belief?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Why, you want to do it?
a practical session. That'd be good.
So you're chasing a dream. You just said that. So the people that are chasing a dream, at what point in time do those dreams become a goal?
Okay.
When do your dreams actually pass the acid test and you start taking action to make that dream, that high in the sky thing that you want, a goal?
Yeah.
Right?
To make it real.
Making it real. So you can have all kinds of dreams you want, and dreams are awesome. Which one do you keep bringing up in your head? Which one keeps repeating itself over and over again? Which one keeps you up at night thinking about, right? Which one keeps you writing down? Oh, I got to write that down. Oh, I got to write that down. Oh, right? Those dreams, at what point are you done writing stuff down and going to start applying action?
Yeah. And a series of steps.
Right.
To go from where you are now to where you want to be.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Because that's the difference, right? There's tons and tons and tons of dreamers out there, and it's awesome to have them. But at what point in time, hey, Jess, at what point in time do you actually want that dream to become reality? And what can you and will you afford to do, that growth pain that's necessary to accomplish the goal to make that dream a reality? That's the question. So we go through a series of things in my, in my training sessions. That's what we go through. So what can you do today? What's one thing you can do today? Write it down.
Yep.
Right?
Okay, I've memorized it. No, I get where you're going with this, and we oftentimes don't do that. We carry on dreaming, and I say, well, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do this, and nothing happens. And it's only when you with help, sometimes with help, a lot of the time, is you actually are able to push your ideas forward and actually achieve something.
Yeah. Well, wishing and hoping are actually never happen. You can wish all you want, but nothing's going to happen. You can hope all you want, but nothing's going to happen. Right?
Wise words. Oh yeah, I agree.
And when you change your words, just like, oh, I have to go do that. I have to go do that. Do you have to, or do you get to?
Mm-hmm.
And when you change your words, it changes the vibration. It ups the ante cellularly in your body, so that it's a positive experience instead of I gotta go do that again. I don't really want to do that, right? Oh man, I get to go do that. It's like going to get flowers at the flower store for yourself just because you can, or going fishing for the afternoon just because you can. I get to go do that. Yeah, it's a totally different cellular experience. So we do a lot of training on changing your words in and around how you think and speak to change that.
So removing the negativity and replacing it with positive.
For sure.
To turn it all around.
Yeah, for sure. Because those actually, wish and hope, are actually fear-based words. They're a derivative. It's all about the action. Jess knows, no doubt. That's an action taker right there. Jess Rosen is. Oh, RJ's here too. Yay! My girls are here. That's awesome. Yeah. But the fear-based words and fear itself. I mean, there's only two feelings in the entire world, and every other feeling is a derivative of one or the other. Mm-hmm. So it's love or fear. Mm-hmm. And everything else fingers down off of those two words. So you can either approach something from a place of love, or you can approach something from a place of fear. It's your choice. It's a choice. So you can either choose to come from a place of love, and yep, this is going to be hard, but I get to do it. And yep, this isn't going to be easy, but I get to do it.
So is it a question of breaking down the obstacles into manageable bits?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's breaking it down into manageable pieces. You know, what's that called? Deconstructing it, right? So you got the big vision. Now you got to back up. Back to square one. And how do you start? You know, where do you start? How do you start? And, you know, that's where people like you and I that are experts in our field come into play, right? Like, because sometimes we don't know where to start. We know we get to start. We just don't know where to start, and we need somebody to guide us.
Yeah. Get a starting point. So you've got the start point, you've got the end point, and you've got the journey between the two.
Absolutely.
And the journey is important as well, isn't it? Between where you are now and And
every single thing in your life has led to this moment. So if you think your journey is just starting here because you're ready to put action on your idea, your journey started long before this point, right? Every single experience up until right now has brought you to this moment. So every single experience flips into an emotion that you put an action on. And based on the action, you either chose to stay in that loop or you chose to go forward, right? So you're either repeating the behavior and the experience over and over and over again, or you're working through it and you're coming out the other side. So,
got it.
Are you following? Did I take a left turn on you?
No, I'm following totally. But you know what it's like? I mean, just for a moment, you know what it's like when you're actually, I mean, on your side of the camera, it's brilliant and simple and straightforward. You can see the comments and you can concentrate on what you're saying. And I mean, I'm a man anyway, but I've got to try and multitask.
Yeah.
So even after all this time, I'm going to miss comments and everything. So if I do, apologies to everybody. But I'll say good afternoon to Graham, and Graham's joined us, and hello to Mike. We didn't officially do that earlier.
Hey, Mike.
And to Jess, and to RJ, and thank you everybody for joining us this afternoon. I can see that Charlie's here too, and Stephen Stay. So welcome to everyone. If you've got any questions, for Erin, then please type them in, and I shall add them to the mix. Because what we do begin the show is we agree 3 questions, and we haven't even got to the third one yet. So because we're getting sidetracked by just enjoying ourselves. Right. Okay. So question 3. What are you working on at the moment? What are you currently working on?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You ready for this? How much time do we got?
We've got plenty of time. Time is not a problem. Just go for it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So in addition to my training and what I do with my one-on-one clients, I also, and how we are connected is I have a show that runs twice a week, which is called the Erin Strayer Show. And I interview amazing women from all over the world that are out there doing different things. And the whole platform of the show is to uplift and leverage them. So I just recorded my 80th show. Wow. I was like running some stats. I was running some stats. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that's over 40 hours of training.
Yep.
That's free for the listeners, right? Like, how brilliant. Just like you bringing on experts, like, that's valuable training for everybody else when they get to interact with these other experts. And it just shifts and changes everything so drastically and exponentially for everybody. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So you got the show, and so you're working on that's ongoing, and that's building a library of experience that people can watch that's the beauty of this, isn't it? That we go on the live, and we're live for 30 minutes, but the show goes on forever, and people can find it, which is one of the brilliant things about it. And shout out from Jess. She says, I love your show, Erin. And that's the greatest compliment that you can get, because when people say that, you're actually doing it right. And thank you, Jess, for that comment. So you're currently working on the show, and that's front of stage. What's going on behind stage?
Well, other than producing the show, right? Because there's a lot that goes into that. You know that, like all the here's your medical terms, your pre and post op stuff that goes on with your show, and then the during. And I feel like I do a little bit above and beyond support with my guests for the show. In addition to that, I have co-created an online directory for entrepreneurs all over the world so that they can be found. It's for high achieving, driven, focused entrepreneurs, and it's like Yellow Pages or Yelp. I don't know if you guys have Yelp in Britain.
Yeah, we have electricity as well. We've got Yelp.
Or like List. Here in the States, we have a thing called Angie's List. And this is similar to all three of those, and it's kind of combined, but it's amped way up. So not only is it just your name and a link to your website, it's all your social media links. It's a bio of you. It's a bio of your business. It's you can upload videos if you want, all right into the directory. You can put testimonials in there. And it's been this undertaking, and my Jen Weatherly and I are the co-creators of it, and it's just been, we realized we had the same dream, and I needed her to do it. We come back to the collective, right? Like, we can't do it by ourselves. Way beyond, thanks, Jess. We can't do it by ourselves. So she had the vision 20 some years ago. My vision came about 8 years ago. I couldn't do it by myself. I didn't know how to do the behind the scenes tech stuff, setting it up, making it a membership, making it an online directory so that everybody can see it, right? Like, I didn't know how to do that. That's her specialty, her area. Poof, we worked on a joint project together like last fall and realized, oh my gosh, look what we get to do. Yeah, and we launched that the beginning of May. So, hi, Yvette. So that's an ongoing, consistent, it's called The Illustrious Ones. And we have a support, we have a Facebook group that kind of drives traffic, but it's a free standalone website. So it's not going to go away if Facebook disappears.
Right.
So
we need some independence, don't we?
Yeah.
Because our world most of our online world is Facebook, because that's where everybody is, and you've got to be where everybody is. But you do need the independence so that if something, let's for argument's sake, Facebook went offline for a couple of hours, then you can fall back, can't you, to your own resources, to your own website.
Yeah.
And it's not only fall back, you can actually start things from there as well. Right.
Which people shouldn't depend on one. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket, right? Like, you have a backup plan. You should have your stuff backed up. You should have, like, Facebook shouldn't be the only place you store your videos, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, just in case it decides not to be here in 3 minutes, right? Like, you should have your stuff backed up someplace else, on another platform, on your website, stored offline somewhere, just to save your content. You got to have a savings deposit somewhere.
True. I mean, this live video, which we're both into, is the best way to create content, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather come live. I don't know about you, but I'd rather come live for 30 minutes or so than sit down and write a 3,000-word blog.
Oh my gosh, for real? I know. Like, that's like pulling my hair out.
True. But because this is the beginning, and I'm grateful for everybody who's watching live, but it's also the people who watch the replay as well. How important is the replay?
Oh my gosh. I think probably 70% of people watch replays. I don't know what the stat is. Is it more than that? You probably know.
I've heard similar as well. Yeah.
Because not everybody's available at 9 a.m. and Eastern time. Not everybody is available at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Britain, right? Like, not everybody is available at the time that you go live. But having the replay there and having that ability to come back later is brilliant, right? Like, it's not a one and done situation.
Oh no, it's not. I mean, the thing is that this is the start of something, not the end, isn't it? Because I think we both go back to the video afterwards, and anybody who's commented will get a reply, and if it's somebody new, they will get a message, and then a conversation starts.
Right.
As RJ famously says, you build your network one conversation at a time, don't you?
Yes. And it's, and it's all about relationships, right? Like, we don't want the one and done people, like the drop and go people. We want relationships, and relationships are how you build your tribe and how you get that consistent interaction with people, and how we get to know each other, right? Like that's how it started with you and I, Stephen. Like, it was just some comments back and forth, and it's like, hey, this guy's pretty cool, I want to hang out with him. And you're like, hey, Erin, what's going on? And right, like,
a connection is made.
Absolutely, a connection is made, and that connection gets to go farther, right? Like when people send you friend requests, what do? I know what I do. Hey, thanks for reaching out. What do you do? Tell me about yourself. That's what I do.
Yeah, because it's
and
all.
Then they're going to answer you, right? Because I cared enough to ask.
Well, first of all, they're going to be shocked.
Right.
And once they've got over the shock of actually a conversation being started, then, because to start the conversation is the exception, not the rule. We've sort of transformed into where we like or love or hate or smile, but that's not a conversation, is it? I mean, clicking like it makes you feel good, but it's actually saying something and getting a response, and then another sentence after that. That's what it's about.
Exactly. And that continues that conversation, and that begins that relationship, and that relationship gets to develop into whatever it's supposed to from there. And who knows? I mean, RJ's queen of saying that's how you get your clients, is by starting and being real and being human, right? Like, be a human in this online digital world that we live in. Be a human. Be a human.
That's how you meet people, and you meet people by talking to them, by having text conversations with them, by going on a peer-in and having a one-to-one chat and helping each other. And RJ has just loved what you've been saying. So there you are, and that's what it is. I mean, the thing is that we have three circles of friends. We have the circle of friends that you and I share. In other words, we both know them. And then we've got a circle of friends that we've built around us over the years, and we both have that. And occasionally, on occasions like today, we actually bring them all together. I think that's magical.
Yes. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know that person too? And then it's like a big party, and it's really kind of interesting. And one key thing that you said, Stephen, and I wanted to go back to that, is commenting on your live broadcast. So all the people that come on, that comes back to like business 101, where 100% of your time is not, hey, do you want to come on my show? Awesome, I'll see you at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning, Erin. And that's it, right? Like, no. Business and forming relationships, and eventually, bringing them on as a partner, bringing them on as a joint venture thing, bringing them on into your programs, is how you nurture. Okay, cool. You came on my show. Now we're in the show, right? We're in the show, and this is awesome, and this is interaction back and forth. But so the part after, when we go back and we interact with the people that we're on, and we go back and make those relationships, and we go back and say thank you, right? Like, we go back and say thank you. So really doing this whole process, the 100% is divided into like 33% before, 33% during, 33% after. And if everyone that has something to sell, give, share, encourage, whatever, teach, played by those rules, then nobody would be looking for clients. Nobody would be looking for guests on their show. Nobody would be looking, because they'd be coming out of the woodwork.
But that's the beautiful thing. We're not in competition.
No.
Our skills are complementary. So therefore we can come together, we can help each other without fear of losing, well, we're not losing business, we're getting friends. And that's the magic.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that's 100% what I'm about, is like that collective, and that knowing that we get to collaborate. We get to, we get to share space. We get to share clients. We get to share platforms. We get to share audiences. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's a beautiful interaction between two people. I mean, it's like just phenomenal. And then like the flower gets bigger, right? Like you feel the flower.
Yeah. And this is the where the flower actually blooms, because it starts beginning of the show and then it just grows throughout the show and it comes into bloom as we reach the end of the show. Where did that go?
Where did that 30 minutes go, Stephen?
I don't know. Somebody ate it, I think. To go to Graham's comment, because I just missed this. 100%. I missed most of the live streams due to being in the office. Luckily, it's a quiet day today, so I was watching us live. And Erin was saying 70% of the views of any show come after the show. And I think this is a note to before we both do our closing bit. Jess is saying the directory is amazing. There's so much talent and expertise in there already. So
it's really a cool collaborative for sure. It's really interesting.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, it's been my pleasure. And if you'd like to leave a message for everybody at the end of the show, then the floor is yours.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to drop the link to the directory or my group or how to find me. Yeah, I'd love to. I've enjoyed my time with you, Stephen.
Well, that's what it's all about. And basically having a chat, there's no stress. There's just two friends chatting, and we've been joined by even more friends. And Stacey, I can only say that you'll enjoy the replay as well, unless you've been here all the time. So shall we say thank you to everybody?
Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for being on live with us. Thank you for commenting and sharing and giving us the love. If you guys are watching the replay, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming back around and saying hey. So, Stephen, thank you.
Thank you. And say hello to Tish, who's just joined us, and to Gina. Shout outs to you both, and thank you for joining the show. We're going to have to do this again. Yeah. Not necessarily this month, but if we could do this again, it would be brilliant. Erin, thank you very much. To everybody who's joined us today, you're awesome. You're all awesome. Well, we're just glad that you're part of our network, and we count you as dear friends. Erin will be back with her show tomorrow. Yes?
Yeah.
I'll be back with my show with RJ at 12 p.m. Eastern today. We'll be back together next month, but for the moment, to everybody who's watched, especially Mike as well, take care, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Everybody.